I think we are live now. Let's see. Okay, someone has joined. 60 minutes ago. Hello, everyone. I need to be sure someone is here. Okay, I can see someone just joined. Yeah, I just want to check something to be sure we are live. But I can see we are live. Okay. Oh, 19 people. Hello, guys. If you can see me, please drop a comment. If you can hear, if you can hear me, you can see me. Drop a comment, please. Hi. Okay. We have relaxing meditation. Thank you for joining. Thank you, guys. Please come in. We are live. This is my first live session ever on YouTube. Thank you, guys, for joining. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me clearly. Hi, Juicy, Chinenye, Austin, Eugene. Everyone coming. We have an important guest. Hi, Ben. Hi, Rebecca, Emma. Thank you for joining. Gladys, Theresa, Floxy. Thank you guys for coming in. Okay, so now I know my people are right here. Kindly give this video a thumbs up if you can hear me. I see you guys. You guys know how we do it, right? Thumbs up, thumbs up. Please share this video. Keep sharing. Let's share this video. Let it go viral. Let people get to know about this video. Hi, Chinenya. I can see you. Hi, Jason. I see you guys. Welcome. Thank you guys for joining. I need to be sure my people on Twitter, they are also here. Hold on. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. So we'll quickly get started immediately. Then other people can join. We have 57 people watching at the moment. Hi, Mohammed, Eric, Izobi, Salman, Kenval. I see you guys. Okay, so thank you guys for joining. You already know your girl, Immigrate with Ammy. And this is my first time having live session. I'll try not to be nervous, but yeah, I know you guys are here with me. And yeah, we have an important guest. We have okay, I'm not going to introduce him. His name is Matt. So Matt, the first thing we should do right now is for you to introduce yourself to my audience so that they can get to meet you and to know you better. Let's start from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. My name is Matthew. I'm a co founder and a CEO at Halp. Some of you are already working with us. Some of you might not know what Halp is, but for context, it's a personal admissions coaching and immigration platform to help students from all over the world, but specifically, Nigeria, Ghana, West Africa, um, successfully get admissions, get a study permit, and get set up at recognized Canadian institutions in a way that is free and effective and a great experience. So that's kind of the backdrop of me and what we'll talk about.
Thank you so much for introducing yourself, Matt. I know this is my first time meeting you. You're a very busy person. I understand that. Yeah, but thank you so much for joining me here. And I'm officially welcoming you to Immigrate with Ammy's channel.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so to start with, what is your opening message? Okay, before that, sorry, I have a
Mhm.
couple of questions
Mhm.
that people both from my Twitter page, X, also from TikTok, then
Hmm.
from YouTube. So I'll be asking you those questions if you don't mind, because at the moment, based on the IRCC news last
Hmm.
week, a lot of students are confused.
Yeah.
Both students who want to go for diploma, undergraduate, graduate studies, people are confused. They don't know
Yeah.
where to go from. So, my first question is, what is your opening message in the face of the news that was released by IRCC?
Yeah, so the IRCC, that's Immigration Canada, right? That's the federal government body that regulates study permits. So when you get accepted by the school, you then build your study permit application to get the study permit, the study visa, so that you can come to Canada and pursue your education. So last Monday, they sort of changed the rules a little bit or updated how they're thinking about this process running. And there are implications for students. Before I get into all that, I'll just say at a high level, it is still a great time to be a student that is applying for Canada. It's still the
Okay.
best price to value. It's still open and accepting applications. There's just some nuance into the processing piece of it. So please don't be discouraged and keep pursuing your dream. So here's what it means. There are two things that you'll probably read about in the headlines. And there's a lot of other things below, but there's a couple main ones. One,
Mhm.
there's a cap now of 364,000 study permits that they're going to process per year for the next 2 years. Okay. And here's what's important: not every program is under the cap. So, capped programs are basically non master's or graduate programs and programs that are not in nursing or skilled trades. So,
Yeah.
said differently, if you're applying for a master's, graduate level, PhD level, or any level of nursing or skilled trades program, nursing, healthcare, PSW, the cap does not matter for you. Everything is open, study permits are processing, you're good to go. If you are applying for a program that is at the postgrad, diploma, certificate, graduate, BBA, like undergraduate level in not nursing or healthcare or skilled trades, so business, project management, STEM, whatever, then you would fall under that cap. So what that means is they are, and it's still a very large number. Okay, 364,000 divided by the provinces, they're each going to have an allocation that they're then going to give to their schools. So this is why it's important. The schools are still open and accepting applications, but you just can't go forward with the study permit application until the provinces, which are just like the divided regions and states of Canada, have a process to set up for you to get an additional form that you didn't have to have before last Monday. So it's a long way of saying master's, grad level, or any level for healthcare and skilled trades, fully green light and good to go. If you're under a capped program, it just means that they're introducing an additional step in the process. So we're just going to wait until we apply for the study permit, but the schools will still process and accept your applications as normal. Um, there are other nuances about if the campus was a PPP campus, which is a curriculum licensed agreement. They lost post-grad work permit eligibility and some stuff around spouse visas. That can be at the school and program and provincial level. So that's why it's more important than ever to just work with somebody that is understanding what is going on in Canada at the school, provincial government, and federal government level so that you get the right advice,
Right.
so that your program and your school fit your goal. A lot of the students we work with are working back from, I'd love to be a nurse practitioner in Ontario in 2 years. Therefore, I'm applying for this program. Therefore, and you just need to make sure that the program you're applying for allows you to go down that path. Right. So, yes, last Monday it changed. However, it's still open. Applications are still able to go through. And for your specific situation, and there are things we're still learning, and new information is coming out all the time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
So I'm going to skip the second question because you just answered
Mhm.
it while you were speaking. My next question says, what does the announcement mean for international students?
Yeah. So if you're a student that's watching this right now and you are outside of Canada, and you are looking to apply, for a Canadian institution. If the program you're applying for is a master's level program or any level for healthcare or skilled trades, it's a green light. We're ready to go ahead. We can work with you, or you can, pursue it on your own. That's fine. If you are a student that's already in Canada studying on a study permit and you're looking to switch schools because of this new news, or you're looking to just apply for an additional extension on top of what you're already doing, we can definitely help you and go forward with that as well. That is open at both the school and the government study permit level. The last piece is if you are a student that is outside of Canada looking to attend a school in Canada, and you're looking to do a undergrad, postgrad diploma certificate, not in nursing, not like a non-master's program outside of nursing or skilled trades as well, then we can still move forward and apply and figure out what is the right school for you and apply to the school. However, we will just then have to wait until the government sets up their process to get the attestation form to move forward. So that one is just like a yellow light. Like, we can still move forward, but we won't be able to apply for the visa for probably, 5 or 6 more weeks,
Okay.
which is okay. If you're targeting September or January or July of kind of this year, like, that's fine.
Okay, thank you so much, Matt. My next question says, what are some great schools in Canada and
Mhm.
programs for international students, that they can target that are
Mhm.
still processing right now?
Yeah, so this is what the government is the federal government is basically saying with these regulations is we would love people of any level in healthcare programs and skilled trades, or just any program that's a master's level student. So that's essentially what they're saying. There are really great schools, some examples: University of Ottawa, any master's program; Laurentian University, Trent University, Lakehead University, Concordia at Edmonton are really great for masters, whether it's healthcare or not. Then the public colleges that are not the curriculum license agreement schools are great for these levels as well. Centennial, Fanshawe are 2 good examples of those. Now, I would say that it is the most beneficial time if you're applying for a master's level in and around healthcare, or just healthcare in general. So personal support work, health sciences, hospital admin, these types of programs, they're going to process quickly. And because they're not moving people through for postgrad and diploma and certificate and undergrad, you'll be up against less people. Like, the process will go quicker, especially if you're working with Halp. So generally, master's or non-master's level healthcare related, health and science related programs are really attractive right now to a lot of students.
Hmm. Okay, thank you. So let's talk about Hub. Why is Hub the best option for serious students at the moment?
Yeah,
Students who are looking forward to moving to Canada for studies.
the two things, like, we work with the schools, so we know what the schools want, we know what the provincial government wants, we know what the federal government wants. So what we're trying to do when you're going through the verification and qualification process with Help, which I know we'll talk about, is match your fit with what the government needs. A lot of students are very
Mhm.
capable and you'll get accepted to the school, but you might get turned down for the visa because of a random thing that's going on. We know that information and we can advise you, upfront and beforehand and during the process. The second thing is for the students that are successfully make it through our verification process and get matched with the coach. You get free admission support. So we will work with you one-on-one. They do calls like this, voice notes, texting, to figure out where you should apply, build your application bundle. We submit that. Certain
Yeah.
schools, you can get a decision within 48 hours. Sometimes it can take, 3 weeks. It depends on the school and their processing time. The second thing is you'll get a free immigration lawyer, not consultant, but not that one is better than the other. They're both good, but we will pay those fees on your behalf, so that they will submit it to the IRCC for you. This is important because if you're not doing that, it can cost you, hundreds or thousands of dollars.
That's right.
Or if you apply on your own without working with somebody, it can be confusing if you make a mistake on the form or in the way that you're presenting your case to the government. They can reject you even though you actually would have been a really great fit for the country and for the school. So because of that, the success rates are higher. So for example, in Nigeria, our study permit approval rate is about 83%.
Yeah.
For people that apply on their own, it's like closer to 50, right? And so you have a better chance of getting the outcome you want in a way that is free and it's fully online and in one place. So you don't have to be like emailing a bunch of admissions folks on your own and wondering and guessing and trying to figure it all out. So probably for that reason, save money, have the best chance of getting the result you want, and a pretty good online experience.
Brilliant. Okay, so the last time we did a campaign, the video I published on my channel regarding
Mm-hmm.
HAP, it was about undergraduate students alone, and there were a lot of graduate students who are also interested, but they weren't sure if HAP also supports graduate students. So
Yeah,
that brings me to the next question, which says, um, okay. What is the ideal student you are looking to serve at HAP?
yeah.
As an international student, a graduate student, do you also give support to graduate students?
Yeah, we will work with pretty much any study level aside from PhD applicants, mainly because
Okay.
those are just highly specialized applications that we are not qualified to support with. And a lot of times they will seek out something different. But for graduate, master's, post grad, bachelor's, undergrad, diploma, certificate, we can work with you. And essentially, when you talk about the ideal student, um, this is where sometimes it gets lost in translation. We know that every student and everybody that is dreaming of this, that is a great thing and that you are serious. What we mean by ideal student is trying to match the people that we work with who are the
Mhm.
most likely to get to the schools. And the main piece of that is what the government is looking for. The schools will often accept students that the government will not provide a
Right.
study permit for. So we've done a lot of work to understand what it is that the federal government and Immigration Canada are looking for so that we can then tell students at the beginning, look, if you're going for a, health or healthcare or science related program or STEM at the master's level, this is a great time, right? So, and then we will try to make the process really clear, right? Because there are a lot of students that can't maybe afford to pay the fee to apply to a school. Well, probably that will make
Yeah.
it hard to also pay for tuition or different things. And so, when we think about the ideal student, it's someone that can make it all the way through relatively efficiently. And what that means, we will never charge you anything. However, it will likely cost money to apply to the school, somewhere between 100 and around 100 Canadian dollars to submit your application. Sometimes we get that waived, but not all the time. So students need to be willing to do that. Once you then get accepted by the school, you get a conditional letter of acceptance. To get your official letter of acceptance, which is what you need to apply for your visa, you have to pay a tuition deposit. The tuition deposit is an average of probably 2 to 3,000 Canadian dollars. It's fully refundable if you don't get the visa, but this is what secures your seat with the school. If you're
Right.
unable to, through a wire transfer or a sponsor or some other way, to pay for that, then there's no point, right, to go forward because you have to do that. One is at most schools, right? Once you get the letter of acceptance by paying the deposit, that's when our immigration lawyers will work with you to write your statement of purpose, to get all the documents together. Maybe your program needs an attestation form or not, which we're still figuring out. But then we submit your study permit application to the government of Canada. That also costs like 180 Canadian dollars. So these are the three things that are really important that you need to know that those expenses are there. And then the government is basically going to look at a few main things, but the biggest one is proof of funds. So this is really important. A lot of students that we say, hey, maybe come back once you're able to show us a little bit more on the financial side. It's not because we care. It's because the government generally wants students to be able to show proof of funds, which is cost of living plus
That's right.
tuition of
Hmm.
about 35,000 on average Canadian dollars. Now, it's basically a screenshot of a bank account that for like a month has had that amount or more in it. You don't actually need to use that money to pay your fees or your cost of living. You can get loans. Once you're accepted, you can have a job, right? There may or may not be scholarships available. However, the government, when they're processing your study permit, wants to know that if all that stuff fell through, you could still afford to support yourself for at least a year, right? And so when we are asking students in the beginning, are you able to show this? It doesn't mean are you able to actually use it to pay, but that's the ideal student, right? Is somebody that is going for the right program at the right degree level, that is able to pay the fees and that can show the government financial aptitude. because that's generally that plus the statement of purpose plus ties to home country are kind of the major factors among others that will help you with study permit. And Emmy's more of an expert than I am on that, but like we're trying to ask those things up front because we don't want anyone to spend time, energy, and then pay application fees and study permit submission fees that is unable to show the proof of funds to get the permit, because then you're just wasting time and money. So
Okay.
that's the main thing, is a lot of students are capable of getting accepted and would be and are amazing students and great people, but the Canadian government is just so strict. So what we're trying to do is match you to their criteria very early so that we can have a realistic conversation about the chances that this works out.
Okay. Thank you so much, Matt. You mentioned about the proof of funds, and
Yeah.
that reminds me because I already asked some people. I asked my community, about some. A lot of them got confused after the IRCC news,
Mhm.
and when I also the video I posted regarding Halp, a lot of students got confused as well. Some of them were
Yeah.
not able to submit their application
Mm.
because of proof of funds. Now that brings me to that question. A lot of people who are interested in, getting help from app or going through app, to study in Canada, most of them, at what point are they supposed to submit their proof of funds? Is
Mhm.
it um before the application, before they submit the application, or before they get access to a coach?
Yeah.
It's just there's a kind of confusion here. People don't
Absolutely.
know when to submit POF.
Got it. And I know that some people that are starting to go through the process just might not have it ready, but it will be ready.
Exactly.
We do not, it's not mandatory. So basically, the way that Help works is when you sign up for free, the first thing you do is take the intake questionnaire. So these are where we ask you a whole bunch of questions to understand who you are, to see if we are the best person to serve you, right? A lot of students, that is where you either become qualified or we will tell you, hey, this, we need to know more about this in order to move you forward. We have a lot of students in that process that tell us, I can't pay more than $10,000 for tuition. Well, that's not really real. Like, so there's a chance where, check your email, you might have gotten an email from us saying, hey, is this true, or we need to understand more about your answer. But if the answers all make sense, you get moved into verification. Okay, so this is where we have actual verification and onboarding resources that are real people that are going to reach out to you. And plus, we have a dashboard where you need to upload documents that we can verify are real and match what the schools and the government want. It is not mandatory that you upload proof of funds in order to move forward. If you do have a screenshot of a bank account that matches proof of funds and you upload it, it will be faster for you, like way faster. If not, like, you will have to show transcripts that are translated into English. You will have to show a valid passport that's just a photo. And then I know that a lot of the schools do not require English proficiency tests for students from Nigeria, from Ghana, like generally English speaking countries within Africa. That's fine. You might be able to also upload the MOI, like the proof that the education system was in English, that type of thing. But we're not going to not move forward with you. You're then, and you also have a WhatsApp number in your dashboard that you can reach out to if you are confused. But generally, if you move into that part of the process, you're going to either receive a WhatsApp message or a phone call, depending what you asked for, where someone's going to ask a little bit about what you want to do, why you want to do it, learn about you. You can ask questions to them about the process. You don't need to show proof of funds to move forward and get access to the coach. It will just make it a lot faster for you, because what we're trying to do is validate that your budget and what you're willing to and to show to the government and what you're willing to spend matches the schools that we're able to place you into, right?
Okay.
There are a lot of students that, for whatever reason, we might just say we're not the best fit for you. That doesn't mean that your dream is over. You can still go ahead in a lot of different ways, but most students, if you show up and you have those documents ready and proof of funds and you do it really quickly, you'll move through pretty fast. I will also say it's not a live chat. Our people are based in Canada because they went to the schools and they know the schools, they know the government really well. We might not respond instantly, but it should be relatively quickly. And if you don't receive a response for a long period of time, check your spam or your junk email, because we might have sent you an email asking for more information before we can move you forward, right? So that would be the main thing that I would say. Um, And then once you are matched with the coach, then it's much more constant communication. It goes a lot faster.
Okay. Another complaint I got from some of my subscribers,
Mhm.
when they tried to submit the application, they were not able to go forward or to move forward with the application because of English language proficiency
Mhm.
test. Yeah. So my question is, because I remember Carson told me earlier on that students from English speaking countries are not meant to submit IELTS,
Mhm.
IELTS test score,
Mhm.
but my people are not able to do this. So what can you say about this? Because
Yeah,
a lot of people can't submit application because
it's
of it.
definitely an area. Like, so when they're getting qualified and the dashboard is open, there's an area where you can upload documents. You don't have to and the documents we say are English transcripts, photo of the passport. Those two are mandatory. Proof of funds and the English proficiency test are not mandatory to move forward. Even though they're listed there, you're not being penalized if you don't put those in. If you put in the MOI, or you put in the proof of funds, you'll move through faster. But if you put in the transcripts and the passport photo, someone from verification is still going to reach out to you. Where there's sometimes confusion is sometimes we send an email saying, hey, like, we don't think we're the best fit for you right now, or can you show us this other thing? And then that email gets lost, and then no one knows what the next step is. And we're working hard to make that a better experience for students. But no one is, especially from the English speaking African countries, that don't need to show an English proficiency test in order to get accepted to the school or to get the visa. Some schools do require it, by the way. So, like, that's, but very few. Um, we're still going to reach out to you and talk to you and have a consultation and figure out if it's the right move to move forward. Probably just a communication error on our part, which I apologize for.
Okay. So guys, you guys have heard from the CEO. If you don't have English language proficiency test score, you can also apply for, you can submit your application. So that will not stop you from applying or using Halp if you want to travel to Canada for studies. And okay, Matt, I have more questions for you.
Yes.
I'm gonna check. Okay, so yeah, regarding the proof of funds, I know you've talked about it, and also English language proficiency test. Now let's talk about assigning coach to
Mhm.
students who want to use HAP. So I got some complaints from some of my subscribers that they've not been able to get a coach assigned to them. At
Mhm.
what point do you assign or allocate coach to international students?
Yeah. So if you are successful in the verification process, we match the free coach and the free lawyer to you. So
Okay.
not everybody is going to be assigned to that stage. It doesn't mean that you're not a serious student. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't get accepted by the school. It doesn't mean that we don't think that you'll ever achieve the goal. It just means we only have a certain amount of spaces, and we know exactly what the government is looking for. And so we try to just support students that we think are going to be most likely to go through so that we don't waste anyone's time or money. If you're not matched with a coach, you definitely have an email or a WhatsApp message, or you have been told, hey, here's the reason we think that maybe right now isn't the best time. Maybe we made a mistake. You can show us this thing or whatever if you would like to continue to move forward. But you're also still able to, pursue and go forward without working with us. But you will know, because when you're working through verification and you provide the documents and we've looked at everything and we've spoken to you, the coach will reach out immediately, and then you get constant communication through the submitting of the application to the school and the study permit to the government. The biggest reason students do not get matched with the coach is because they go through the whole process and then they say they only want to pay 5,000 for tuition, or they only want to pay, like, they're just not realistic about the costs that are involved with coming to Canada. And yeah, I would love for everyone to be able to go and have programs at the levels they want, but the government is going to look very, like, they care the most about, can you afford it on your own? What is the level of school you're going to? Like, that's a big study permit thing. And if you tell us the only reason I can go is if I get 100% scholarship, that's very rare, right? or or I won't be able to show proof of funds, but I might try to get a scholarship. Like that's all fine. It's just that's a reason for us that we probably wouldn't move a student forward, is just because the costs are probably too much in a lot of those situations. And we don't control what the schools charge, and we also don't control what the government says you have to be able to show them you have, right? And so we're just trying to be realistic about it, but it's not a rejection. It just means we aren't the best fit for you, but you can still go forward. We don't speak for the schools or for the government. We're just filtering based on what we think will happen.
Thank you so much, Matt. Okay, guys, I know you can hear him very clearly. So that, because I know I've got a lot of emails from people regarding all these questions. So my next question to you, Matt, is
Mhm.
what can students expect in the verification, the admissions,
Yeah.
and enrollment process?
That so I maybe we can break it down and try to make it
Okay.
very clear. So basically, there are a few steps. Um, we do our verification process based on how likely people are to get through all the steps and get to Canada into the schools, right? So we are looking for students that are targeting, you know, really any program, but the most desirable right now: skilled trades, trade schools, nursing, PSW, healthcare at any level, or any master's program. Okay. The people that will get through verification are the ones that will be able to they'll have a passport photo ready, transcripts ready. You'll go really fast if you have proof of funds. Also, study gaps. This is a big one. The government, it just becomes a lot
Okay.
less likely to get a study permit approved if it's more than, say, like 5 to 7 years since you last graduated undergrad or high school, because the government would probably just want you to go through an open work permit or you know, that type of avenue. So we're kind of looking at those things. But if you're prepared to have those documents, your study gap is less than sort of 5 to 7 years or right around that, and you're going to be able to show $35,000 proof of funds eventually to the study permit to the government, and you're okay to pay an application fee to submit the application, and you're okay to pay a fee to submit the study permit. That's what we're looking for. So the students that are able to do that will move really quickly through uh, the verification process, at which point we can start building your applications and submitting them to the school right away. But if you
Okay.
are unable to, if you're never going to be able to show that amount of money, your study gap is more than 7 years, you don't want to pay fees to apply to the schools, probably it just makes it hard. You can't go through the process.
Okay. Thank you so much, Matt. I'm just gonna go to the comment section
Yeah.
just to read a few questions that people are dropping here. Um, okay, this is from C. Daniel.
Mhm.
How can I get into a PhD program in McGill? Okay, first of all, does HAP do you guys support McGill University
Miguel.
or McGill?
Yeah.
Okay,
What did
McGill.
he did they say PhD program?
Yeah, PhD program. Do you
So
support?
the we don't do PhD. So PhD is very
Okay,
specialized. You should reach out directly to the school with your past education history and understand the process, how many seats there are, how they select, that type of thing. It's a very involved process. Like there's essays, there's interviews, that type of thing. Definitely go forward with the PhD. I'm seeing it's McGill Psychology. That sounds
yeah,
awesome. We are just not the best people to help you with that. But McGill, if you go to their website, they'll have like a PhD admissions office where hopefully you can email or get on the phone to understand the requirements and the timing and the processing. But PhD applications at the school and the government level are still open. So you should definitely go forward with that.
okay. Am I able to apply for postgraduate work permit after studying a postgraduate diploma in Canada?
Yes, as long as the campus and the school you went to is not a curriculum licensed agreement campus. So there is a new updated list of what are called designated learning institutions, DLIs. Those are just the name of the schools in each province that the government recognizes for international students and study permits. They some qualify for post grad work permits, some do not. and some never did. Some of them, they lost their PGWP eligibility starting in September
Mm-hmm.
as part of these announcements. So it's really important if you're working with Halp in either verification or with a coach, the coaches know all the schools that qualify for post-grad work permits. If you're not working with, if you're applying on your own or directly, if you ask the school, does this program I'm applying for at your school qualify me for a post-grad work permit, PGWP? They have to tell you yes or no. Because sometimes the students didn't know they were being sent to campuses that were PPPs, or the licensed curriculum agreement schools. Which originally was fine because you could still work, but now as of September 1st, they won't have post-grad work permits. So you just need to know. Some students are okay to go to those private colleges, do a 1-year career program, then try to stay on a sponsored visa or transfer into a PGWP program. Just know up front what you're getting into. So, but generally at the public college, private college level, if the designated learning institution qualifies for PGWP, you'll be able to apply for that once you graduate. And the list is public. We can also tell you, but it's changing all the time, and especially as of September, if you start after September 1st of 2024. So it's a really good question, because a lot of people, the main attraction to Canada and some of these programs is the post-grad work permit, co-ops, the ability
Yeah.
to work part-time while you're in school. So it's really important that you know up front if the program in school you're applying for qualifies. And we can tell you that.
Okay. This question is from Alade Oluwashem. Please, I need a list of 15 schools in Canada that have partner with. Okay, so I know you guys partner with a lot of universities.
Mhm.
Apart from the York University that I've already talked about on my channel, would you like to mention some universities that you partner with?
Yes, especially schools with, I'm just seeing the comment, especially schools with low tuition fees, Saskatchewan. Well, yeah, Queens isn't that low. So for master's program, any of the main ones you've heard about, we can help you go to. So it depends on a lot of the times. So regardless of what the tuition fees and the cost are, the lowest tuition fees for a master's program that you might find is going to be somewhere around 12 to 15,000. You might get a scholarship, whatever. You still have to show that plus $21,000 in cost of living to the government. So right away, I'll just say, no matter what, be able to show proof of funds when we apply for the study permit. That said, for master's level programs, any of the public colleges in any of the provinces will have programs for you. You didn't really say which master's program specifically, but they will have education, legal, STEM related ones, as well as healthcare. So some schools that are really popular at the public college level. Well, for business, there's UCW, which is an MBA. At the public college level, can end up just naming all of them in all the provinces, but can help you with any of those. And the coaches will help you whittle down where you should apply based on those criteria. So some are a little bit more affordable. Some are in areas where the cost of living is more affordable. So like you end up paying less than what you have to show the government. Some of them give bursaries or scholarships, which once again is money off of the tuition, not money that they send to you. But yeah, like Saskatchewan, we could help you with. Queens, we could help you with. It's kind of just whatever you end up thinking is the best option for you. I think I mentioned a few before: Trent, University of Ottawa, Laurentian, Fanshawe, Centennial, University of Alberta. Whatever it is that you want to do, we can support you with that.
All right, man. Thank you so much. I have another question. So for students who go through Hub to be able to, for them to get admission in Canada, do you guys or do the schools that you support, you partner with, do they give scholarship to international students? Is it
Sometime,
possible
yeah.
for students to get scholarship?
The scholarships are at the school level, but oftentimes the schools will come to us and say, we want more Halp students because they're the best quality. Here's an offer. So, for example, right now we're partnered with a school called Yorkville University. It's a
Okay.
business, it's a BBA business program in Toronto and Vancouver. They also have a film school in Toronto. It would fall under the cap, but they're still open for processing applications right now. They're offering students that apply through Halp a $10,000 scholarship. I want to be very clear. This makes the
Okay.
tuition go from 25,000 to 15,000, right? It does not mean that they're going to send you $10,000. It just makes the cost lower. because we talk with some students that think that a scholarship means they're going to send you money. There are some private scholarships that is the case. It's very rare. But generally, when we are working with the school, there will be some sort of discount on the tuition fees. That's just one example. So yeah, like that's out there. It's not a guarantee. I would just say be ready to pay the full amount. And then if you pay less, that's great. Right now, when I say pay, you can pay with loans, you can get a part time job, you'll eventually have co ops. If you go to a program that is for a labor shortage in Canada, you have a really good chance of getting a post grad work permit for a job in the degree area, which means right away it will help you pay back the loan or whatever, or reimburse yourself for the fees. So I would think about it that way. But I know a lot of people say, what is the cheapest way for me to get to this? Sometimes it's not about the cheapest, it's about the most cost effective, yes, but also what is give me the highest likelihood of this specific job in this province or city that pays this much, right? And then what is the PGWP implications, and what are, if I eventually want to get PR, what is the chances, right? I would think about it that way. So yeah.
Okay, sorry, I have two more questions for
Yeah,
you
yeah,
before
no,
I
no
let.
rush.
Okay, okay. So, I'm gonna take a question from the comment section. What about those that want to go to trade school? Do they have any trade school? Okay, do you partner with any trade school in Canada?
Yeah, yeah. So the trade schools, this is a really, really good time. We have Canada has lots of job openings that we need to bring people in to go to the trade schools to
Okay.
then like skilled trades programs at public colleges, at private colleges. We do have those partnerships, and those are, you can move forward with those study permits right now, and it's like it's good. It would be an advantageous route because we need those people right away.
Okay. Please help me to ask Halp. Sorry, this is coming from my phone. Someone just dropped a comment. It's saying 2 weeks ago. Halp has asked me for 2 weeks now to upload my document, which I have done. However, it is taking them so much time to reply.
Okay.
Wha-
Tell that student to either on Instagram or or somewhere, or the email contact@halp.co. Send us your email that you used to sign up, and we will look at the status of your application. If the documents are up there, they automatically get reviewed. So maybe there was a communication that was missed on our end or on their end. I will look into it, or have someone on our team look into it right away. Or if they send you their email, you can just send it to me or Carson right after this, and we'll get them a response. So I apologize. That's not the experience that we're trying to offer at all. Sometimes our emails that we send about different things end up in students' junk folders or spam. So check those areas, like the trash or whatever. But ask for that student's email that commented to you, and the email they used to register for Halp. We'll look them up and get you an answer for them, or just communicate with them directly.
Okay. So I don't know if I should be asking this question, but then I know I got an email like few weeks ago after IRCC made the announcement. So I'm going to ask you this question. Some students, they've already applied for student going for maybe diploma program,
Yeah,
undergraduate program, and they've already got admission. They've applied for visa before the announcement came. What do you think will happen to these students? Because they are
yeah,
also looking forward to moving with their
oh yeah.
spouse. So what
So
do you think will happen to them? Do you
yeah,
think their visa will be issued?
yeah. And I will be very clear. I'm not a lawyer or an immigration consultant.
I
It's not legal
understand.
advice.
Yeah.
We don't have full guaranteed information. From the information that they put out, they said effective immediately as of January 22nd. So, and then there's been some information out there saying that study permits for any level, but specifically the ones under the cap that were submitted prior to that date, that they're still moving forward with those, and that you should still, within the general realm of time, get an answer. However, I don't know if that's actually what's happening in the background or not. I think that it would be not the intention of anybody to penalize people that applied for a study permit for a legit program before anyone knew about this information, right? So I would assume they would still be processing those. And then anybody after January 22nd, if it's masters and or not masters, but for skilled trades or like healthcare related, I think they're still processing those. If you submit it now, they're just not processing post-grad diploma, bachelor, undergrad right now outside of skilled trades and healthcare, net new as of January 22nd until the provinces get attestation set up. So
Okay.
I would tell the student, I wouldn't like try to pull the application or anything. If you submitted it through an immigration consultant or an immigration lawyer, I would ask them as well. We're still waiting for updated information on a lot of this stuff. But what I do know is every school is still processing application, whether it's in or out of the cap. The schools are still very excited to welcome amazing students from all over the world. The government wants that too. They're just trying to get the process in place. So at
Mm.
worst, it's just going to be a little bit of delay, and then they're going to process through the backlog, and you might just be in that queue, right? So it's kind of just like a wait and see. But if the application is, I wouldn't, if the application was submitted before January 22nd, it seems as though from what we're reading online that they would still be processing in the background, but it's hard to like validate that basically.
Okay.
I don't think you're
Thank
being penalized for that though.
All right. Thank you so much, Matt. Guys, I don't think we still have more questions.
Mhm.
So I'm going to just let Matt go. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. I if you okay, so for if you want to go through Halp for your study in Canada, I'm gonna drop the link. The link is already in the video description. You can use my link to apply, and you will get all the juicy offer that Halp offers. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Please share this video because a lot of people at the moment they are confused. They don't know where to go from now, especially undergraduate students and people who want to do diploma programs. Kindly share this video with others, your friends, those interested in studying in Canada. Thank you so much for joining. And Matt, thank you so much for coming to my channel. I'm
Thank you for
glad,
having me.
hosting you here.
Thank you so much for having me, and happy to come back anytime and chat through questions or updates. I'm sure more news will come out shortly. Um,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
please stay diligent, keep pursuing your study abroad dreams. Canada is a great place to go, and we will get through this together.
Thank you and have a great day. Hey guys, bye.